Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for waiting with us as we set up our second semifinal. We do have the Gretna Valorant School team, Gretna, versus Noble. So much shorter names this time. I'm sure to say it very quickly. But it is going to be the number 2 versus number 3 seed. They did previously play in the round robins, which happened yesterday, in which case Gretna Valorant did win 13-4 over Noble. So we once again have a favored party coming in here, but I'm hoping that we can see, some of those signs of pushback maybe a little bit quicker in this semifinal.
Yeah, and we're on a different map as well. We're on Ascent. Listen, anytime I see Ascent, the one thing that I want to see is the Sova wall bang over on Billy. It just does my heart good anytime able to get that Sova wall bang, throwing the arrow through the window and then just laying the boom. But not sure we're gonna get that right now. Looking at all of the picks, and honestly, I'm kind of surprised, even if that doesn't happen. Typically, you still see that Sova on Ascent to get so much information without a whole lot of ceilings to contend with. You can get a lot of information from that recon arrow, but it doesn't look like either team's going with that still. Got the Sky, we got an Omen. It's the Killjoy coming out this game as well.
I love Killjoy. I mean, there is nothing better than what you're talking about, the Sova dart actually working, which only happens one every 20 times that I try. But Killjoy, I mean, you just place the robots, how hard can it be? But seriously, obviously she can take care of an entire site by herself. We saw a little bit of that in the last match with Cypher, right? But then Killjoy can even be better sometimes, in my opinion. But you're right, it's actually very weird not to see a Sova at all, and it looks like we are going to have the lock-ins on the other team, exactly what they're displaying here. Wait till the last second for a little bit of drama, as they like to do, but Phoenix coming out actually is nice to see. Viper and none of the newer agents, a lot of the old standards, except for the Sova.
Yeah, this is, I mean, basically looking at them, I'm like, all right, the Killjoy and the Sky. Beyond that, those were OG characters. I guess Viper was released a little bit later, but I mean, still one of the first ones released. And like you said, not seeing the newer champions on Ascent. This seems like a real old school tactical play. We'll see how it comes out as we are now into round number 1 here in our second semifinals.
Indeed, we are. And who do we got here attacking? We do have attacking Zaki Poo Poo. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna call that goats. I don't think I can pronounce the Chinese afterwards. Yeah, we're gonna call him goat, right? We got this.
Yeah, that's yes, 100%.
Very good. But we do have Noble on the defense and Gretna on the attack. So let's see where things will go. Again, Gretna favored coming in here as the defeats of the team previously, but we'll see if a day, 24 hours has changed anything.
You do have that extra 24 hours of, they knew who they were going to face coming into the semifinals. That was released yesterday. So you're able to go back through that film, go through the VOD and be like, hey, okay, what worked against them? What didn't work against them? What do we need to change? And see if that strategy. But also, even if you're the victor team, you still have a lot to be able to change and adapt to. We'll see how that plays as we have a strong push on A. And people are just dropping left and right on the attacking side. It is already a 4v1.
Quickly, but that can happen. We talked about it a lot leading into the last semifinal as we have that last pickoff from West coming in here. On, you can go with the whole Zaki Poo Poo pronunciation?
Zaki. Well, it depends on how poo poo the play was.
Good job, good one. I don't know if they'll appreciate that. Every time we're like, well, that was a poo poo play more than a Zaki play, but they might be, that might be what you just have to do.
Yeah, but we'll see if that happens once again with that strong push. And it does look like they're going to line up here, Gretna, towards mid a little bit. And, maybe play a little bit of a slower push, try to get a little bit more information, especially knowing that those purchases came out. We see the weapons being strong over on the side of Noble. And being able to just set up and wait and really get that momentum rolling. We saw it last round, but another strong push as utility's going out. Like, we don't need no utility. We just pull the trigger.
Jeez Louise. Oh my gosh. Jamar with the 3K. Machine got all the rounds. Oh man, another 4v1 actually. Poor Zaki Poo Poo here. It's always the last one as Jamar picks up the 4K for very quick 2 rounds back to back.
Oh my gosh, that was
Valorant.
full out Rambo with that air. She just rounded the corner. And there was zero moving. That was full out spray and pray. But when you have a 4v1 advantage, that is definitely the way to go. Just go ahead and throw it out there. And again, if you die, you're still going to get the round. If you lose the areas and you buy a Vandal or a Phantom, do you really feel that bad about it?
I'm thinking this is actually the semifinal that I was trying to describe for the last one, but that one actually had a nice kind of like tempo difference, like slow, kind of fast, slow, you know, stack, but still taking their time. And this is just high octane Valorant. So at least finally we have something calming down, perhaps. But with that one pick off, just starting things off again poorly for the attackers, doesn't feel so good for them. They are going to try and find better success elsewhere, but with all 5 defenders up and running. We have that Killjoy with a little bit of utility over on B, which is actually where we have the attackers now headed. I mean, it's a little of an uphill battle. See if the guns can carry through.
I hear all the footsteps going around as well, just being able to... Oh, as the Phoenix ult coming through, just getting so much information, able to pick one of them off. All of a sudden, the attacker is back on a person advantage, but still, with 40 seconds left, going to have to plant it quick and then set up this defense, and it will be planted indeed. Now just 30 seconds for the retake to come through. I do have a man advantage, but we've already seen how difficult it is to get on site in the first place.
Yes, yes it is. Just gonna kind of rush on through, hope that it worked out. It absolutely did not, and everyone is gonna get taken down, and actually ended up quite nice. I had my doubts about their ability to do so, but we do have Noble with a point on the board, kind of a, you know, arguably when they're supposed to, but yeah, they got picked off first and foremost. And then actually still busting through B, quickly getting set up and being prepared to defend that retake. Worked out nicely for them.
Yeah, and have to give huge props to Q Doggies. Being able to use that Phoenix ult, get the information, did a little bit of damage. I'm not sure if they were expecting the first person to wrap would be that Phoenix. Is kind of a recognition of hearing the voice line of it coming and then rounding the corner, but being able to get 2 people picked off and then getting 2 more, even with the Omen blind coming through, just a huge amount of utility and information gained. You just can't rely on that because it's going to take a while to build back up, but hopefully that'll get them rolling as Zaki Poo Poo gets on the board.
Plays a little aggressively, actually going forward, a bit of a scout and finding that pick, and then the call to go through a mid is made. We do have the other members of the team rotating, but unfortunately Tiny Bomb is taken out, utility now defunct, and we have a 5v3 situation. Sorry, everyone's still alive from Noble as they once again get set up on the defense of their plants. Walls being closed down, avenues being torn down, and, well, the defending team not only coming in here with a few less men, also still those very, very poor subpar guns. Not sure how much we can do here with the setup. Certainly not an opportunity to pop the ults. Wait for that next round for that one.
Yeah, and, you know, one thing that I feel like we need to talk about the last round or last match. We did not see any snipers coming out. We didn't see the operator. Now we already have a marshal coming out from Jamar. See if that op does indeed come out for him. And it is a map that is suited a little bit better for it compared to Split, but definitely is something that we have to keep our eyes on. If they're going to have this strong of a push, does Gretna might have to either get in position and make a huge play with those snipers or stick back to the ARs and really give yourself an opportunity to win a gunfight.
Well, set up 2-2. And definitely a closer match here to start things off from our last semifinal. Again, our last semifinal winners, Lincoln Way East Griffins, definitely watching and determining who they think they're going to be facing and the styles that are being played out here.
Don't get rusty.
I got great guns now for both sides. Well, mostly anyway, I suppose. Poor Spectre there for Flusk. I think I pronounced that excellently. Yeah, the Killjoy, I think now possibly in the best position possible. No turret actually thrown down. Another Phoenix ult to lead the charge. Taken down very quickly. This is how they got that first point, I believe. Actually completely blocked from entering into B. So not going to be similar to that one. It looks like the Viper has been calling that A is actually completely defenseless, and we're having a rush rotate on over there.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, and the defenders have been pretty bamboozled. They're completely out of position.
They don't know what's going on. It's getting played, and now they have to have it. You see them rushing over, but look at Zaki Poo-Poo just sitting up and waiting. What a great rotation coming out from Noble, and they end up from Gretna, as Noble gets caught so far off guard. Oh my gosh.
Actually is turning into something a little bit spicy, not the way I expected it to go, but yeah, that was kind of a weird one, because I mean it really was a very successful, it wasn't even really a fake. I mean they entered in, they're like, well, that's probably no go, and then they entirely rotated. Yes, the Viper was able to kind of call it like, I don't think anyone's around here, but perhaps too much of an overreaction even from the defenders, the Sky and the Killjoy. Or the Rays, sorry, the Rays that are over on A defending it. But anyway, let's see if they get bamboozled again. This is a round that the attackers should absolutely be winning. They've got the guns. In fact, that means the defenders might even play a little aggressively. Jumar was trying to, but is found out. Now going to take the more typical position to try and get some free kills with the shotgun. Is it actually going to happen? I mean, it might. I'm not sure. They should check the corner immediately. There's so much utility actually going out right now. We don't have any movements. And actually, once again, figuring that they're barred from B, like, why bother? Just go to A. Worked out so well last time. Or maybe they even enter in through mid. Their confidence must be high, as it is a 5v3. They got the momentum, and they've got the guns. So that is exactly what they do. The blinds coming in, the shots matching it, and that is another flawless here. And a 4-2 for the attackers. Excellent job here by, I believe that is Noble.
Oh my gosh, the curveball's coming out and blinded all three players with the first one. Gets two with the second one, as the Omen did get away, but was not able to get the traded kill, and 4 rounds in a row. And this is a momentum that you and I have been talking about quite a bit. You know, the first 2 rounds, yeah, they feel great. You're able to get, but after that, if the buys come through and you have that 3rd round victory and continue to keep it rolling, it just plays out so incredibly well, as you just see almost full credits and full buys on the attacking side at this point.
I mean, they're in a comfy position. Yeah, they don't have to. I mean, it's 4-2, so it's not like this is getting out of control. But I mean, this is definitely going well for them. They want to carry on forward with the momentum. Tiny Bob, unfortunately, not able to help much on B. And I mean, if I'm being honest, maybe a little bit of a weak point, or unfortunately just a bit of a run of bad luck. They haven't really been able to help stop B or trade out, even if the attackers end up going to A. They've kind of just been taken down. This time around, the teammates weren't there to try and help full stop the push. Not that I'm sure it would have mattered at the end of the day, being a 2v5. Well, okay, 2v4. We spoke too soon. You know, it's still a very difficult job for them. So the retake does not look very promising, even with a pick here. And so much utility. The time's ticking down here for the spike. I mean, they're going to try and push it, I guess, but would a save actually make sense here?
I feel like it would, with as low as they are at this point, to be able to just go ahead and save. Jamar is sitting on 100 credits at this point. Ooh, does get that trade back, but still sitting on 100 credits. I'm not quite sure you're going to be able to get that full buy on your defensive side. So to be able to at least get a little bit, that got really spoopy. Oh my gosh. Almost getting the final peg. It does look like they will have enough to get a full buy. You got to start getting some rounds back. You got to start creeping your way back into a few more rounds before this one gets away, like we saw the first semifinals happen. And it has to start here early. You see so many ultimates up, 6 of them across the board, 3 for each team. This can get incredibly volatile, incredibly quick for either side.
just like double and triple checking that it is in fact Noble who's on the attack, you know? They come in as a bit of the underdog. I mean, the seed's not too different, but the previous result between the two teams certainly was, with Gretna Valorant actually able to win, even kind of overpoweringly so. But it's definitely changed here today. We have a couple of ultimates coming out, making things a bit bright and flashy here in Valorant, but it ends with a 4v4 situation. Zaki picking up one against Tiny Bomb, that able to kind of hold on their lonesome as they tried swapping over. And another one for Zaki, leaving just west to their lonesome. Yeah, I mean, not a really great time to use much of the utility, certainly not their ults. Gonna have to rely on their wits. And now they know they are being hunted. The flash is a very good idea. Saves them for a little bit, but now they're and found out. I mean, they were caught in a corner. There wasn't much to do there.
Yeah, that was brutal, and a great pincer move coming out from the attackers there, just making sure they had nowhere to go, able to get so much damage with Zaki Boo with that poison. But we're really seeing a great tactical play style coming out from the attacking side as well. The first couple of rounds were kind of just a headlong straight rush, and even the first kill in round number 3 on Zaki Poo, it got picked off. But after that, they've done a great job of rotating and being unpredictable on where they're going, what they're doing, and it just seems to be catching the defense off guard, and they're getting so many advantages early at this point that they're just able to plant wherever they want.
But shout out to Chad. I think the overlay might be incorrect here. I'm gonna double check on that, but it is actually the favored team playing this fast and harsh style, up 6-2. So I mean, that makes a little more sense. It's gonna kind of hyped about the underdog story, but yeah. So we do have Gretna performing very well, and it's gonna continue on by the looks of things. Both teams with 2 ults. But one team, again, substantially better off with the guns. And that is going to be Gretna as they move in through mid. The defending team does back off a little bit. And actually, kind of a more awkward Valorant moment here in the in the spawn is where the action is going to go down here. And it is a lot of action indeed. Sprays every which way we look. 3v2 at the end of it. And actually make that a 3v1 just for 6 to their lonesome. And what do they, I mean, they're gonna go chase? Gonna, no point in saving? They have no idea where the players are, though.
A tough spot, and I feel like Zaki knows that he's around there, just has to get that point on target and being able to get that one done, beautifully done again by the side of Gretna. And for the first few rounds, we were talking about Zaki Poo had some poo plays. Might have hurt us because for Zaki, starting off 0-3 is now 10-3, has just absolutely been making a tear, as well as Q Doggies with that ultimate making such great use of that Phoenix and getting the blinds off as well. Those 2 players really carrying through here on these last 7 rounds.
Defenders do differently. I mean, they've certainly been caught with subpar weaponry in a lot of these rounds, and once again, it's a very mixed buy from them. I mean, they have an operator, which we'll see if that can do some big things here, but otherwise, a couple of bulldogs, specters. It's very awkward indeed. We're gonna have that break into B site once again. It's all red on the kill feed. 5v2 situation. Tasty even being aggressive here, starting with that bird, of course. They know what's up. Yep, they do. Take down Jamar. And it is just one left over. And it's a matter of time. Matter of time before they're found out.
Yep, that's unfortunate, especially that, operator sitting down the long spawn side. Just incredibly unfortunate, and that's one thing that I was talking about earlier. We hadn't seen the long range pulled out in the prior match. We already saw the Marshall, then we did see that op. That was a lot of saving on the defensive side, with them dropping 8 rounds in a row to pick up that op, and that is now a 4,500 credit swing over to the side that didn't really need it. That was some alms to the rich at this point, but I'm sure Coat will happily take that. And looks like they're going to set up down mid, see if they can't get a couple of early picks and really keep this thing rolling.
Yeah, this is now, I mean, feeling almost impossible, unfortunately. The operator in hand, the momentum, just everything going their way. And it is, I mean, I guess a little bit of the similar story of our last semifinal. Just have a favorite team coming in here. We might have a higher MMR on the team as well, and just shooting their shots a little bit better. Certainly opening up the more possibilities for their teammates to get the shots. Jamar at least able to punch back a little bit alongside Wes. A little bit of a closer round as it comes down to a 2v2. And Jamar hoping to find the head here. Yep, they know they're there. They do find it. And they are willing to aggress. Unfortunately, Tasty. Oh, nicely played. I thought was going to be in trouble with two of them coming around, but able to take down one, then the other in quick succession. Managed to get a 9th point for Gretna Valorant.
Yeah, tasty indeed with those shots, and deciding not to pick up that op, just leaving it on the ground, which I think that's a great call. They're able to full buy. You're not allowing the defense, who doesn't have the credits to full buy on the last round, to get an easy pick and pick that up and really turn the tides. It is such a powerful weapon to be able to just flip the script in a single round, and just try to go up 10-2 and see what we saw in the last match, flipping sides, a huge advantage.
Well, the defending team does have a lot of ultimates. I mean, certainly now is the time to use them. You know, I imagine maybe, yeah, wait a little while for maybe the Seekers, and then where's the Killjoy here over on A? The Viper's Pit actually has been used over on B. Is it a bit of a fake? I mean, it kind of seems that way, just throwing out gunshots for the sake of it, and, well, they have been successfully duped before. And it seems to be happening again, but this is very much the purpose of the attackers. This was the entire strategy. The entire A site just left wide open. Now, Killjoy can still do that, that lockdown, but only so much effect. Can't get a little bit closer. And then I'm actually kind of afraid that even if they do set it down, the attackers will go after it. They are full of confidence, after all. So let's see. Down. See if they get to just push back. Looks like they're just going to push back. We's actually trying to take advantage of that run back. And no players detained. Now the attackers back on defending their spike, which has been counting down this entire time. And it seems that despite the ultimates available to the defenders, they will not be able to stop that 10th point from happening.
Yeah, Zaki Poo Poo just getting a couple of more kills. They're over in Gardens. Is going to be able to get another one and use the ultimate as well. Oh my gosh, the beautifully done there by the Reyna to pick up a couple at the end, but again, too little too late. The attackers do pick that up, and it is Gretna who has a 10-2 advantage now on defense. However, again, let's recall the first 2 rounds of the last one were picked up, these pistol rounds, by Noble. They're going to need to do that again and really get themselves on a roll.
Yes, exactly. That's a very good point. Maybe they can actually carry that momentum a little bit farther now that they've swapped sides. But we don't know how powerful Gretna is on defense. And I'm imagining they're somewhat powerful. But it actually would be kind of interesting if this ended up being the almost exact same scoreline, I believe, as the last time they faced off. Maybe because the pistols were won by Noble both times, and then the rest were won by Gretna. But we're waiting and seeing. The round has just begun. And a little bit of a slow start to this Valorant round.
Yeah, we'll have to see if apparently Gretna needs the big pew-pews to be able to start taking control. It could be something that can be preyed upon for if they do happen to pull off 3 rounds here and face off against Lincoln Way. But whoever they face off next, it's definitely a huge thing to be taking note of if you're the opposition, if you're another coach that may be facing this team in the finals.
Yeah, no, again, they do have a team waiting, determining what the weaknesses of the potential winner might be. Well, West does finally win that duel. I had to back away from it from a little bit. But does open, well, not too much of an opportunity. We do have Noble trying to make that B hit happen. Might have to just take the ult and rotate, try something else. They got 36 seconds for it, so I think it is possible. Very slow, going all the way back to spawn.
Left. Yeah, that's a real long rotation. They're going to have to rush this the entire way, and it does look like it's being called out from the side of the defense from Gretna. They're going to have to rush this the entire way, and it does look like it's being called out from the side of the defense from Gretna. They're going to have to rush this the entire way, and it does look like it's being called out from the side of the defense from Gretna. They're going to have to rush this the entire way, and it does look like it's being called out from the side of the defense from Gretna. They're going to have to rush this the entire way, and it does look like it's being called out from the side of the defense from Gretna. They're going to have to rush this the entire way, and it does look like it's being called out from the side of the defense from Gretna. They're going to have to rush this the entire way, and it does look like it's being called out from the side of the defense from Gretna. They're going to have to rush this the entire way, and it does look like it's being called out from the side of the defense from Gretna. They're going to have to rush this the entire way, and it does look like it's being called out from the side of the defense from Gretna that, hey, they may be making this rotation. I'm not hearing anybody. You see Zach, he did check it, and now they know it is a full rush. They're going to have to plant this thing in a hurry. It does look like an instant stick by West. They will get it down, but will they be able to survive? My goodness, just a massacre, and that will be an easy defuse for the side of Gretna.
Gwess, the Phoenix, definitely not shy. Just literally ran on over, pistol outs, right-clicking everywhere, I suppose, and able to take down all the defenders. We were awfully clumped up. You know, they had to do it so fast, and as you said, the call was kind of made there by the defenders. I mean, they didn't have a lot of time to get set up for a very tactical approach to defending that spike. Yeah, it was all or nothing in the, kind of that corner. And, well, I'm getting a little bit of a deja vu feeling from our last semifinals. This is where the team, you know, losing, and they did eventually lose, but they were able to manage to bring it back a little bit, make it a bit of a spicier semifinal. We'll see if Noble can do that here, but they are on an awkward situation with the guns.
Yeah, just one subby, and then the ghosts as well. Not a whole lot of shields, while you see Gretna is just sitting high and mighty with their guns, with their shields, and all five grouped up. Look at the pinch coming through as well. This is a dangerous spot as Doggies picks off one. They know where they all are, and Doggies is just tearing through the team.
Yeah. I mean, this is the time where you think you're about to be pinched, you just kind of choose one attack, right, and meet it head on. And that didn't really necessarily happen here. I think we had Yellen Cheddars trying to maybe, you know, block off the B sites from attacking in from pinching. But then the backside attack here just worked out so well from Gretna. It's a 3v1 situation, so just trying to pick off what they can. No, you come to me. I mean, if they knew all three were there, they would actually... No, well, they can't. I mean, they got to get the spike. So this is actually just a stalemate. Sure.
I'm waiting for one person to go flank. Oh, goat might do it. Nope.
Yep.
They're making sure they're not getting flanked. They haven't heard anything in a while. They know that they have to get the spike, but everyone is just nervous of. Wait. Are they still there? Are they? Do they have to go? Right? They. This is a spike. We do have the actual spike, right?
Yeah. That's the way to go, though. You know, on your own terms. No, I mean, immediately trying to go for a backstab would have been, you know, it's a gamble, but it actually might have been kind of cool, but we did see that Gretna was on top of it, so that would have had to have been a very fortunate sequence of events to actually make something work in that 1v3. It did not, and now we are on match points. We could have a 12-3 situation for sure, but with so many rounds to win, it does seem like a foregone conclusion that Gretna will once again win over Noble. See if Noble can prove me wrong.
Yup, and when you have the full buys and you have the Phoenix ultimate up and being used by Q Doggies as well, been that point man, been the entry fragger and using, you know, we talked a little bit about how the agents work together and how they do have a little bit of their own play style, and you see Q Doggies not afraid to be the entry, to be that point fragger, utilizing that ultimate, even when he doesn't have it, just being able to fly at people's faces, almost kind of catch them off guard with his aggression level, and is making it work time and time again.
Mm-hmm. Well, the spike is still attainable. Pick it up, rotate over to B, or... I mean, nothing else seems to be working. I do still have 50 seconds. I can think it through, maybe hope that someone is overly bold and runs on in, but... At that time, you got to make the decision. Here we go. Yep. There's that maybe overconfidence. If they had actually gotten gunned down, they did not. So instead, it was just the scouts. And I think now at this point, they've realized this is the only thing that the attackers can do. So we do have a pinch coming in. And that is a flawless pinch indeed. 13-2. Gretna Valorant once again winning over Noble. Just some fast-paced Valorant in a lot of those rounds. And then carrying forth with the momentum. Apologies for that little confusion with the overlay earlier on, but we got there eventually, and yeah, it was just Gretna once again showing some great Valorant, and now it is going to be Gretna versus Lincoln Way East Griffin.
Yeah, and you know, I was talking a little bit about Q Doggies being that point fragger and the entry fragger. I also have to give a huge shout out to Zaki Poopoo, who also had 5 first bloods. They each did, and you know, the top 2 fraggers in the lobby, both on the side of Gretna. And really showing their prowess in those entry frags, and I'm super curious to see how it's going to match up against Lincoln Way East, who didn't have a ton of first bloods, but they had those counteracts, and that's who we have matched up in the finals: Gretna versus Lincoln Way East, who the first time they met up, it was incredibly close. So now we're going to see that again here in a best of 3 finals. I cannot wait for that match to get going.
Yeah. Considering their history, this actually should be a very close match indeed. I'm hoping for a lot of clutches, a lot of down-to-the-wire situations. But before we go to that break, again, big thank you to Mountain for sponsoring the tournaments, giving out that prize. Big thank you to them. But that is going to be it for the shout-outs. Let's head to a break, and when we come back, it is a best-of-3 grand finals between Gretna Valorant and Lincoln Way East Griffin.